Death. It's the ultimate equalizer, the one thing certain in an existence filled with uncertainty. Every person you have and will meet, every location you have seen and experienced, everything is on a timeline. One day the sun will transform into a red giant. It'll strip our atmosphere and oceans until our entire planet is engulfed. Everything on Earth is gone. Everything we have experienced here upon our planet will one day be lost, never to be experienced again. This horrifying fact is first discovered when you're a child. It throws you into an existential crisis, which can last an extended period of time, but ultimately results with you ignoring the issue or just not thinking about it in order to cope and not cause further psychological stress. If the realization that our life is limited is so painful, why am I suggesting you take the time to think about it? Well, I believe there's 3 key takeaways when focusing on death. In the words of Martin Heidegger, if I take death into my life, acknowledge it, and face it squarely, I will free myself from the anxiety of death and the pettiness of life, and only then I will be free to become myself. Mark Twain stated, "The fear of death follows from a fear of life. A man who lives fully is prepared to die at any time." Thinking about death can remind you of your true priority. It can blur the daily, monotonous struggles we all deal with, and instead, highlight what is truly important in your life. Too often, we can get bogged down and preoccupied by trivial issues, and not make the things we care about the most a top priority. This lack of priority is evident now, just as it was 2,000 years ago. To quote Seneca, people are frugal in guarding their personal property, but as soon as it comes to squandering time, they are most wasteful with the one thing they have a right to be stingy. Thinking about death can remind you that your time is limited. Stop wasting on things that do not bring you joy. Stop worrying about work. Stop worrying about what other people think of you. Stop worrying about petty arguments. If you have always considered switching jobs and taking the jump, pursuing goals in fitness or sports or achieving your life goals, this is a wake-up call to go and do it. Your life is limited. Make it count. In Homer's Iliad, the greatest of the Greek warriors, Achilles, said, "The gods envy us because we are mortal, because any moment could be our last. Everything is more beautiful because we are doomed." Thinking about death can teach us to better appreciate life. When we recall how fleeting each experience is, we can learn to savor them in the moment. Whether it's the family holiday or the meet up with friends. One day these moments will cease to be remembered. Enjoy the fact you got to experience these unique snapshots in time and appreciate them for what they are. We can also appreciate the people in our life. Often we take others for granted and not give them the appreciation they deserve. Work piles up, missed date nights, exhausted from the week just gone, petty arguments arising from the stress. Thinking about death can give us the courage to tell those people how we feel and show appreciation, when normally we may be too fearful or preoccupied with day-to-day issues to do it. Knowing this, will you call your mum or dad more? Will you give your partner a bigger embrace? Will you let petty arguments slide? Would you care about that painful boss less? Focusing on incorporating appreciation or gratitude into everyday life also has the ability to significantly boost our overall happiness by focusing on the good. In the words of Cicero, gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all others. And finally, thinking about death can build your emotional strength. The Stoic philosophers of the ancient world encouraged practicing thinking about death. They believed it would reduce the emotional impact deaths would have on you in sudden tragedies and lead you to appreciating others more. Your mind would be constantly reminded of the limited time you and others have, strengthening you against the inevitable grief you will feel when a loved one passes. Not diminishing their impact on your life or feelings of loss, but allow you to keep living your limited life. It can also lead to building courage throughout life. Courage to admit feelings, to accomplish things your mind wouldn't limit you from doing, to chasing your dreams. Mark Manson, in The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, stated, "If it was all a bunch of nothing anyway, by spending the majority of my short life avoiding what was painful and uncomfortable, I'd essentially avoided being alive." Death is something we will all face, a slippery dip into the unknown we're all in line for. As scary as that sounds, taking the time to acknowledge death can help us prioritize what is important, appreciate our life and the people we care about, and give us the courage to try things we are scared to do. So be aware of your time limit. Take nothing for granted and have no regrets. Live your beautiful life.